All right, guys, we're back in the garage with my Jaguar F-Type. I got the V6 base model, and we are going to take the 18-inch wheels to a much better looking 20-inch wheel. Obviously, a low profile tire, wider tire, better traction in the corners, better traction on launches. It's going to show off our R1 concepts. Rotor's really nice. First of all, I want to thank the guys over at Klassen ID for hooking me up with these wheels. Step number one, let's unbox them and check them out. 1, 2. All right, before we tear into these, let me show you what I went with. We have the F53R, that's the model number. For the rear, 20 by 11, which is massive. And offset's 32, I don't know what that is. And of course the board pattern is 5 by 108, so that's the rears. For the front, we've got the 20 by 9, offset's 40, 5 by 108. Went with gloss black. I had to custom order that color because it normally comes in like a dark silver, which looks fantastic, but on my car I wanted black. So for the tires, I ended up going with the Nitto NT555 G2. On the rear, I have a 305/30 ZR20. On the front, I went with a 265. What is it here? 265/35 ZR20, of course. Now, you guys might rip on me for going with Nittos. They're not really used very often on the Jaguar F-Type. Most people go with the high-end Michelins. I didn't want to spend $500 per tire. Nitto didn't hook me up with these. So these were more economically priced. I watched a lot of reviews. They seem to do well. If they suck, I'll pull them off and I'll change them. But that's what we're going with for now. Let's bust into this bad boy and see what these things look like. What I really like about the Klassen F53R wheel is it's primarily a 5-spoke wheel, but they added extra spokes to give it more strength, make it more unique looking. So I went ahead and ordered mine in a high gloss. So these wheels are flow formed, and what that means is they cast the skirt narrower than the standard wheel. Let's say you're ordering an 11-inch wheel. They'll cast the wheel actually around 8 inches wide, maybe less. And then what they do is they heat the aluminum and they stretch the skirt using these rollers. And what that's doing is it's allowing for a wheel that's going to be lighter because it's got thinner material, and it's going to be stronger because what's happening as you heat the material and press it and compress it is you're tightening the molecular structure. So normally what you get is a 30% stronger wheel. The wheel has more flex. If you hit like a pothole, it'll flex more than a standard cast wheel. So here I'm weighing a standard cast wheel, and you can see it's coming in at 31, almost 32 pounds. Now here's the same size wheel from Klassen that's flow formed, 27 pounds. All right, so here's a very important step before you get tires mounted on the new wheels. There's the new wheels right there. These are the stock 18-inch wheels. As you can see, I've got 2 jacks on here. I'm going to pull off these 2 wheels, and I'm going to fit on the new wheels front and back to make sure there's no clearance issues or anything like that. Because I made this mistake before. I took the wheels in, had the tires mounted, got the wheels home, and the wheels didn't fit. They were hitting the front brake caliper. Totally different set of wheels, by the way, of course. I'm pretty confident that these wheels are going to fit because they are made for my car, for the Jaguar F-Type, but I want to be sure. So let's get these wheels off, put these wheels on, check it out. All right, so it's a good thing I checked this out because as you can see, the lugs do not fit inside the holes of the wheels, the standard Jaguar lugs. Everything else seems to be good with clearance, and I'm liking how flush the wheel is with the fender flare front and back. But like I said, it's a good thing I checked this out because I know I need to get different lugs, and I even bought black lugs. You can see here I bought these black ones, and Jaguar wheels have these washers which makes them really big around. See the washer right there? So here's the stock ones that are silver. I bought black ones and they don't fit either. So I'm gonna buy some smaller round anodized red ones I actually had in the past. That should work on these wheels. They're really much smaller than the stock ones. But I'm liking what I'm seeing. But like I said, if I would have waited till the last minute to put these wheels on without checking those lugs out, I would have been more downtime. So I'm gonna pull these off and then we'll go get the tires mounted. And then when we get that done, we'll get them mounted back up, and then you'll really see how the car looks with it being dropped down. I'll show you with the tires on, you know, how this is looking here. But that, I'm really liking that. That's almost flush. And it'll come in a little bit as the car goes down, gets off the jacks. Let me show you guys some other comparisons here. Here's the rear tires. Here's what I'm running now. Here's what I'm going to. This is the 18-inch tire. Not sure the size, but it's stock. So we're looking at about 9.5 inches of tire touching the ground. Over here, we're at 11.5. So we're gaining 2 inches of rubber in traction. Really need it because this car, when I launch it, these tires spin so easy. First gear, second gear, brakes loose in third gear. You'll see the profile of the tire on the left, the 20-inch tire, is a little bit taller. It's not mounted on a wheel, but I don't know if that's legit. And then when we go to the front, here's my stock tire on the right, the new 20-inch on the left. Here we've got about 8.25 inches of tire touching the pavement. And here we've got almost 10 inches. So that's going to be fantastic for cornering. And if you just look here, the 20-inch tire is a little bit taller also. So yeah, we're definitely going to have a lot more turning traction and launch traction and so on. All right, guys, things are getting real. Got the new wheels and tires all loaded up in the wife's SUV. It was a tight fit, but I made it work. Got the wheels all in here, all stacked in. Had to put one in the front seat. So one thing I want to tell you guys, big time warning. Do not take your nice new tires and wheels to one of these high production shops like America's Tire. I took these wheels in and had these tires mounted, and they're so sloppy. They scratched them, they gouged them, they scuffed them, they threw the tires on top of the wheels and scuffed the new, you know, the nice finishes, and just very, very sloppy. There's a big gouge in one of the rims about that long. I don't even know how that happened. Anyways, I'm taking these to a local custom wheel shop. I think it's called Wheel City, and I'm gonna let them do it and trust them much more. Let's get over there. All right, guys, today's a super exciting day. We're getting the wheels on the car finally after 4 months of trying to get wheels on this car. Today's the day. I was so excited to do this today. I actually woke up at 6:50 a.m., which on a Saturday, normally 8:30, is the norm for me. But check it out, got the tires and wheels here all ready to go. Do I feel like those guys did a great job mounting my tires? I'll say this, they got the tires on the wheels. Did they do a great job? They didn't scratch them, it appears, but they didn't really come back and like clean the lip here. I mean, maybe that's better that I do it so they don't scratch it. But I would feel like if I'm that guy and I'm making a mess of somebody's brand new wheels, I'm going to come back and clean it. So whatever, we'll get it handled. Anyhow, let's check this out before we dive in. Here's the lugs I had to buy because the stock ones were too big. And they're like a red anodized, but these are metal, so I don't know what kind of treatment they use on them. And lower profile, comes with a socket, so you can get in there and take them on and off, like so. It's got the tapered end that fits the new wheels perfectly. Whoever these guys are, I don't know, I found these on Amazon for like under 30 bucks. And then check these out. Now, because my car is essentially like Italian red, this doesn't really match that great. So I saw these little caps that go over the lugs, and they're, you know, rubber, plastic, whatever, and they might look cheap when I get it on there, but I thought I'd try it. You know, might match the car better having these red rather than like an anodized red. So even comes with like a little tool to take them on and off. Anyways, check this out too before we pull the stock wheels off. I'm going to show you the offset of stock versus the new ones. So I just got this metal strap right here. I'm going to put it up against the car. Now you can see there's about a 1 inch gap between the outside of the fender and the tire on the rear. Let's go check the front. I put some tape around this strap so I don't scratch my paint. Let's put this up against the car. And in the front, there's about a 1 inch gap also. So we'll do this again with the new tires and wheels on there, and I guarantee you that gap will be gone. Now, another thing I was curious about is the weight difference between the 18-inch setup and the 20-inch setup. So I weighed them. Now for the front, for the 18-inch setup, we got 49.5 pounds. For the 20-inch setup, 55.5. So it went up 6 pounds. And for the rear, 18-inch setup, 50.5 pounds. 20-inch, 61 pounds. So it went up 10 and a half pounds. So we did gain some weight in the wheels, but we're going to gain a lot of other stuff too in the way of traction and appearance and handling and so on. So, okay, so this is what the car looks like with the 18-inch wheels. Let's come over here to the 20-inch. I've only done it on one side. So, look at that. I didn't realize how small the 18-inch wheels look till you see these big old bad boys. It looks so good. Look at how good you can see the braking components. The red caps, they look all right. They weren't very snug going on. I ordered 17 millimeter, which was the right size, and they slid on pretty easy, so they're probably gonna pop off. No big deal. But yeah, it looks good. Look at that. Now, I showed you guys the offset here. Now with these new wheels, the gap between the fender and the tire on the back is 1/4 inch, and the gap in front between the fender and tire was 3/16 of an inch. So it's looking really good. Look at that. Sticks out. It's just it's like right there. It's right where it's exactly where I would want it to be. Oh God, it's terrible. Terrible. You can see it's just the inset there is just so much. Now, the thing we're gonna have to do is take it for a test drive, make sure nothing rubs, you know, as we hit bumps and turn corners. And what I'll be looking for is the ride, how it feels, how the cornering feels, the noise of the tires on different surfaces. You know, different tires make different noise, so, you know, I really can't say all 20-inch tires are going to sound the same, but that's just what we're looking for. But aesthetically, fantastic. Looks so much better. All right, let's take it for a drive. Okay, so I just left my neighborhood, going around 45 mile an hour down this street. It's got all these little, you know, just little bumps in it, and it feels good. It actually feels the same as the 18-inch. Road noise at this speed, 50 miles an hour, seems it's good. It's not even that loud. Might be a little bit quieter than my last tires. So, about to get on the 91 freeway here in Riverside for La Sierra. It is one of the bumpiest freeways you can drive. It just has this thunk, 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 thunk in it. So that'll be a good test for going higher speeds around 75, 80 and see how it feels. Now, I should mention tire pressures. I wanted to make sure I check the pressure on the tires. You never know what these tire places are going to put them at. So for the fronts, the 265s, I'm running 36 pounds. And for the rear 305s, I'm running 36 pounds also. I did some research. There's some guys that are running 25 to 30 more on a daily driver, 25 if you really want performance. So I'm going to try it at 36 for a while. The fronts were at 44 from the tire company, the place that mounted the tires, and the rears were at 37. So yeah, don't ever trust your tires when you get them mounted. Check them yourself. So here we go, getting on the freeway. Miles an hour. Sounds good. Like right now at 65, it's not noisy at all. I mean, there's some noise, of course. You're gonna get some, but it is not irritating. I noticed the lanes over here tend to be bumpier. Dude, this thing feels so smooth. It's surprising. Let's go over here to the fast lane. This is the lane. You can see how the car's bumping now. But wow, it feels the same on these 20-inch wheels and tires as it did on the 18s. Noise is the same. I'm going 71 miles an hour. This is surprisingly, a good feeling. I mean, I'm really happy. I was actually pretty worried that it was going to be like, oh my god, I can't. Like, this right now is the worst case scenario for these tires. Going 70 miles an hour plus on this bumpy freeway. Amazing. Noise is good. I'm happy. That was pretty cool. I just pulled up to a red light and just kind of hanging out, and I looked to my left, and there's a guy in a van, a passenger in a van, just staring at my front wheel, just like his head out the window. I look over and he's just eyeballing it, and another guy on my right, he was watching me roll up. Car's looking super good right now. I just washed it. It's blinging. The wheels look fantastic. We got the R1 Concepts rotors and the red calipers, so the wheels are definitely an attention getter right now. So one of the biggest reasons I wanted these tires on the rear was they're 2 inches wider than what I had, and this F-Type V6 is now pushing 550 to 570 horsepower on a Jag Madness Stage 4 E85 fuel tune, and traction is hard to come by with that much power. So with the 18-inch wheels and tires, first gear was ridiculous. Like, tires would spin super easy. Smoking the tires through first, through second. Sometimes when I'd shift into third, it would break loose. So what I want to find out now is how much traction I'm getting with these wider tires. The thing you got to keep in mind is these tires are still pretty fresh. I've got around 35 miles on them. And when you get these new tires, they use a release agent in the mold to get the tire out of the mold. So you need to get that release agent off your tires, generate some heat to bleed it out, and scrub the tires. Get them a little bit rougher so they stick better. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a little launch, first gear to second gear. Just curious to see what kind of traction I'm getting. I don't think the tires are now at optimum traction, but let's just try it and find out. Alright, I also like to do this with traction control off. So it's off. Oh yeah. Definitely more traction. good wheel spin. I didn't hold on the gas through second gear like I sometimes do. But yeah, we're getting some wheel spin, but not as bad. And then let's do a second gear acceleration test, because I used to take off in second, and once I got up to about 2,500, I could just give it a little more gas and it would break loose. See if it does it. No, that didn't break loose. It just pulled. So that's good. That's what I'm looking for. So I'm definitely seeing improvement in traction already. Problem I was having when I was doing these draggy runs and measuring my 0 to 60 and quarter-mile times is, with all this horsepower, the tires were just spinning so much I could only get so fast of a time because I was exceeding the capability of the tires. So I think now I'm going to be able to improve my 0 to 60, my quarter-mile time. Yeah, so I'm stoked about that. I mean, if you got a car with a lot of power and you're trying to, use that power, it's not doing you any good if you're on some peachy tires that are just spinning, under a load. So definitely see where these are better. And I think they're just going to keep on getting better the more I drive them and just break them in and scrub them. So the good thing is I can still break the tires loose easily in second. Not as easy as before, but I want to at least know that I can break them loose. To me, that, I don't know, it's just fun. Shows that this car's got a lot of power. If you're not breaking your tires loose, then, maybe you just need more power, but I can definitely still spin the tires, just not as easy. Alright guys, so as you can see, there's no Jaguar F-Type in my garage. This is where my beautiful car usually resides. So very tragic news. In the afternoon, I'd set up to go hang out with a buddy to watch the Daytona Supercross. It'd been a while. I've been there about an hour or so. And when I pulled up, I had to park on the street. And I was like, man, I don't feel comfortable parking on this street because my car is never on the street. It's always garaged or in a parking lot. Suddenly, my buddy gets somebody at his door, and he's like, Scott, grab your phone and your shoes and come outside. And I'm like, what is happening right now? I'm already panicking. So I walk outside, and sure enough, some guy creamed into my car, and this is 6 hours after I dismounted the new tires and wheels. And so here's some shots of it here. You can see he nailed the car pretty good. He hit it so hard, he pushed it 6 feet, pushed it up against the curb, and it drug along the curb. The back left corner is what took the biggest hit. You can see here the wheel is just pushed forward. The wheels on the right side are just scrubbed from hitting the curb. And thankfully he stopped. I'm surprised about that. They didn't just hit it and keep going. Maybe his car couldn't. So I get his information. He has an ID, but no driver's license. He's got his car registration, but no insurance. Come to find out, he doesn't have a driver's license because he has a DUI, which the cops told me later. 4 cops showed up, tested him for drinking. He passed the sobriety test. He didn't appear drunk to me. But I mean, for him to hit my car on this wide of a street, and it's pretty shocking how you could even do that, because the street actually gets wider where I was parked. And yeah, I'm just numb right now. I'm gutted. I'm sad. I've spent the past year modifying the car with tunes and doing the Y pipe upgrade and new injectors and new fuel pumps and new brakes. And it took me about 4 months to find these tires and wheels that I wanted. And yeah, so here we are. It's a mess. So anyways, I'll keep you guys updated on what's going on. So this obviously wasn't the way I plan on finishing out this video. But let me just recap real quick about the tires and wheels. What little bit I did get to experience with them is going from an 18-inch wheel to a 20-inch wheel. Barely felt any different as far as ride quality. I mean, I almost couldn't even tell. They felt smooth. I was super happy with them. Those Nitto NT Triple Live G2 tires didn't give them a whole lot of time, but they didn't make a lot of noise. They felt smooth. Did some cornering. It felt fine. Obviously need more time with them. Did a couple launches and definitely getting more traction now. So yeah, I mean the wheels. I love the wheels. The offset of the wheels. Put the tires exactly where I'd want them on this car. Just almost flush with the outside of the fenders. No rubbing. I mean, most people have to use spacers to get there with like the stock wheels. So the offset of these wheels is fantastic. You know, you did see that the weight was a bit more than the 18-inch wheels. Just, you know, you got more mass going on there. But anyways, I'm super stoked on them. Just bummed that they're just trash now, along with my car. So I don't know if they're going to total the car. I would love to get the car back. There's people commenting on Facebook already like, that's an easy repair. I hope they're right. But right now, I don't know what's going to happen. It hasn't even been 24 hours yet. And today's Sunday, so I'll hear next week from the insurance company, and we'll go from there. But if you're thinking about going from 18-inch wheels to 20-inch wheels, do it. They're awesome. It looks so much better. Klassen ID wheels that are flow formed F53R series. I think they look great, and great way to go. Anyways, if you're interested in those wheels, check the description of this video. Got information there on where you can find them, how much they cost. I didn't get them for free. I did get a deal on them. Anyways, thanks for hanging out, guys, and I don't know when there'll be another Jaguar F-Type video. So signing off for now, guys. Catch you later.